Welcome to the Moms of Tweens and Teens podcast. If some days you doubt yourself and you don't know what you're doing, if you've ugly cried alone in your bedroom because you felt like you're failing, well, I just want you to know you're not alone and you have come to the right place. Raising tweens and teens in today's world is not easy, and I'm on a mission to equip you to love well and to raise emotionally healthy, happy tweens and teens that thrive. I believe that moms are heroes, and we have the power to transform our family and to impact future generations. If you are looking for answers, encouragement, and to become more of the mom and the woman that you want to be, welcome. I'm Cheryl Gould, and I am so glad that you're here. Hi, friend. Welcome to the show today, and I am so glad that you are here. And if you are a mom who feels like you're constantly trying to be more patient, trying to be more present, trying to set better boundaries, trying to keep up with everything, and still you end up most days feeling like you're falling short, well, this episode is for you. And what if the problem isn't that you're not trying hard enough, but that you're trying at all? Well, today on the show, I'm joined by my special guest, Carla Ondrasik. And Carla is a former music executive who helped launch hits like Genie in a Bottle for Christina Aguilera, worked with icons like Barbra Streisand and NSYNC, and even discovered the songwriter who would later become her husband, John Ondrasik, the voice behind Five for Fighting. And Carla is the author of the recent book, Stop Trying, The Life-Transforming Power of Trying Less and Doing More. This book has been so impactful for me, and I cannot wait for you to hear Carla share. In this conversation, Carla shares why I'll try is often just a polite cover for procrastination and fear, and how it quietly keeps us stuck as moms. And she tells us how to shift from all try to, well, you'll have to find that out by listening, but it is so good. We can completely change how we parent and lead in our homes and lives by just changing. I'll try. So if you relate, if you're parenting, trying hard, and every day you're just exhausted, give this a listen. I know that you're going to get so much goodness from it. Carla, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. I love your show.
Thank you. We are already having such a great conversation. We're just going to jump in and record. And I'm going to hold up your book for those that are watching and also your listeners, our listeners. Stop Trying, The Life-Transforming Power of Trying Less and Doing More. And I am loving this. I'm working through all the exercises. It really is changing how I'm talking to myself. I cannot wait for the moms to hear from you on this book. I do want, before we really dive into this, I want you to share your history and how you were involved in the music business and you were behind huge names. I mean, Cher and Mariah Carey and Barbra Streisand and all these phenomenal names, and your husband, which is such a great story. And so much of your story gives you such credibility in what you're doing now as well, because wow, you really stepped out and took a lot of risks to get where you got and where you are today. And so tell us a little bit, because it's so fun, about your history. Yeah.
Okay. So before the music business, I was raised and born in New York, and I was a gambler's daughter. My mom and dad had three girls. And I'm going to tell you that kind of a lifestyle sometimes got a little iffy. We were put in situations that weren't necessarily the best situation. Our parents loved us. I mean, it's how I was raised is because of who I am now, it all relates. So I don't, it was all good. But there were times when we were just put in situations that were precarious and you had to sink or swim. You had to think on your feet. So I pretty much was raised not trying. It's like, you got to do this right now. And so from a very young age, it was ingrained in me. There's no trying. You just got to get down and do it. And we were also raised to be successful, always inspired to do our best. So I think the combination of those two things really set me up for being a young adult. And one of my first jobs was, first of all, I left New York I left Tennessee. We went from New York to Tennessee, and I left at a very young age in my teenage years to come to California on my own with a suitcase on a Greyhound bus. So there was a big leap. And then one of my first jobs was working for the Department of Defense. I started waving people through the guard gate, checking their badges, but moved up very quickly into top secret security clearance and was helicoptered into locations, secret locations. And that got a little bit too isolating for me. So I took another job with an aviation company and worked with employees. I was the coordinator between the shop floor and upper management. So I really learned how to communicate needs of people. And so if shipping department needed a new machine, we would gather all of our information and present it to upper management. And then the universe threw me a crazy curveball. And I was dating a guy who was writing songs. He'd come home from work and write songs. And I had happened to meet somebody who had a song on the radio. They were a songwriter. And I'm like, I can help you get your songs on the radio because I met this other guy who got their songs on the radio. And that was it. It launched me into a 25-year career in music publishing. And so, yeah, my job was to work with songwriters and get their songs recorded with other artists and to also discover new talent. So I worked with an existing catalog. I had the Beatles catalog. I had the Paul Anka. I had amazing songs, millions of songs that I could pitch and work with. But I also had a stable of staff writers that I was creating and working with. And so that's where, during my career, I put the two writers together that wrote Genie in a Bottle for Christina Aguilera. That was her huge hit. Like it was her first song she ever recorded. And I think there's a lot of doing in that. There's a lot of fearlessness. There's a lot of just diving in and saying, oh, I can do that. I'm going to make that happen for you. It's very easy to do things for me, for other people. I love motivating and inspiring everybody. So yeah, it was Barbra Streisand and all the dinosaurs, Johnny Mathis, Huey Lewis, NSYNC. And then of course, I signed my husband, John. I discovered him. I heard his voice through a wall. And I'm like, what's that voice? I mean, I've got to work with that. And then, of course, I married him. And we've been married 28 years. We have two children. And now he's really supporting me in this endeavor. He's five for fighting. He's still out there doing shows and writing and doing his music. And then now I'm written this book. So we're a good team. So that's the background that got me here.
Ah, gosh, I just love that story. How cool. You could have not been there that day when he was singing. I always think about like God's timing. Like you could have been somewhere else and your life would have been different. It's just amazing to me.
It really is. I agree. I mean, I didn't even love the company I was working for. I was in the Motown building. I was pitching music I didn't love. And here comes this voice that's just in that moment, you're right. And then even going to see him perform. I was at a party and I thought, oh, I don't really want to leave the party, but I had to go see if this guy could perform, if I could get him a record deal. And I got myself up and I took myself to the club and I saw him perform. And you have to, there's a lot of doing there. There's a lot of definitive, decisive action. You have to make the moves. That's how you create things in your life. You have to show up. So I
Yes.
showed up. You have to show up when you don't feel like it.
Yes. Yes. You know what? I am struck by your gift that you can see the potential in other people. That really stands out to me. Like you heard him
Mm.
saying, you saw the potential in these artists. You saw when it came to Christina Aguilera, you must have somehow seen her potential that you were able to, create her first hit. Um, and now you've supported all of these famous people, including your husband, and now it's like you are always putting yourself out on the line, always taking
Mhm.
those risks, always doing. And now you've written this book and now you're being interviewed and you're doing all these things and getting all this attention from the book. And Mel Robbins, I want you to tell that story too. She has promoted she has given you the what do you call it? The
The
endorsement.
front cover
Yeah,
endorsement.
on the front cover of the book. How has that been different? Now it's shifting. It's all about you. You're in the spotlight now. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. So yeah, I've been the behind the scenes. I can do anything for anybody else, but when it comes to myself, I'm in a more uncomfortable space. So I have had to employ a lot of the stuff in the book for myself. Look, you can't be afraid. You have to face your fears. You have to put yourself out there. You have to override the negative self-talk. Like everything that's in that book, the reasons that keep us stuck in try mode, I'm employing and using those things. But I'm starting to like it. I'm beginning to be more comfortable and enjoy it because I'm so passionate about this message. It's kind of out of left field. People are like, "What do you mean stop trying?" I thought trying was like a really good thing. So I'm enjoying the challenge of shifting our mindset. I love it. I love it.
Yes. Now and then I want to jump into how we say we're going to try because I so am into that now, paying attention to all the times I tell myself that I need to try versus do. But tell the story about Mel Robbins. I heard you telling it somewhere else about how you got her to endorse your book. Yeah.
Okay, it started in a hot tub. That's always a really great hook. So I'm a swimmer. I'm going to tell it really fast because
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a swimmer. I was swimming in a pool where I go, all year long. And there were these girls in the jacuzzi next door from the pool. So after I swim, I jump in the jacuzzi. And, a lot of times you wouldn't talk to, they all knew each other. They were younger than me. They were having a nice time. And I'm just sitting there by myself. And 9 times out of 10, you just get in there and you listen and then you get out and you're just quiet. But I engage with people all the time. So I look at these girls and I'm like, hey, like, what are you girls doing here? And they said, well, we book speakers and we're here. We have an event, at the hotel. So I said, oh, my husband is a keynote speaker, John, Five for Fighting. They said, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. We have an event coming up in Nashville and we're going to book him for that. So after I said that, I said, but who you should really book is Mel Robbins. This was 8 years ago. She was, speaking, she was starting to, she didn't have the let them theory. She was working the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 book. I'm like, she's amazing. If you can even get her, you've got to get her. And they didn't know who she was. So cut to 6 months later, the girls booked John and it's in Nashville and I have family outside of Nashville. So I'm like, I'm going to go with you. So I get there and the girls come running up to me. We're so happy to see you. Isn't it amazing? We booked John and we also booked your friend, Mel Robbins. And I'm like, she's not my friend. And oh my God, I have to meet her. I like idolize her. So I watched her speak. And then after I went up and I must have told her that I have an idea that I've been working on for a book, and it's a motivational idea. And I'm not even sure I even told her what it was, like about not trying. But she said to me, when you write the book, I'll write your forward. And
Mm.
I was like, oh my God, this is 8 years ago.
Mm.
So cut to 8 years later. I didn't even start writing this book till 2023. And I remembered what she said, and I'd been following her. So I reached out and she said, look, I don't have the bandwidth to write the forward because she's working on the let them theory,
Mhm.
but I will do your front cover endorsement. But you have to have a major publisher. You can't just self-publish the book. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no problem. I can get that done. And I did. My book is through Simon and Schuster. It's a company called Post Hill Press. And then I reached back and said, I did it. I've got, Post Hill Press. And she delivered that front cover endorsement for me, a really long one. The whole one is in the book, but I just put on the front cover, lots of books promise change, but stop trying is the change. So it's a lesson in engaging with people and talking to people. And I had no fear following up. 8 years later, hi, remember me? The hot tub girl that I booked you? I booked her for that gig from a hot tub. So you remember that?
Mhm.
And it's a crazy story. And again, if I hadn't been swimming that day, if I hadn't decided to go in the jacuzzi that moment, it's all this crazy puzzle of life, which is amazing.
And I love that. It helped me to hear you share that story, because I can often see that my tendency is to just kind of put my head down, just kind of don't talk to anybody, maybe because and we'll get into that. I'm tired, tired.
Tired. The try baby.
The try baby, and I'm tired. So just don't anybody talk to me, and yet here you were putting, and especially being new in Dallas, I've been here 1 year. You have to put yourself. I find it's a little bit easier with my work to put myself out there, because I'm passionate about, but just personally, sometimes I just want to go and not have to talk to anybody. But how limiting that can be. And not really getting to just how I lose out on really getting to know people and just all the beautiful connections you can make when you do step out of your comfort zone and talk to people. And
Yeah.
so I love that, and that inspires me. So thank you for sharing it.
Sure. Yeah.
So talk about the try. We say I'm trying. What about that is holding us back and getting in our way?
Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive and confusing to people, because, okay, I think the first thing that I'd like to do is, well, we're going to talk about, so what does it mean to try? So what do we think it means? And what does it really mean?
Okay.
What we think trying means is it's a brave first step. We think trying means that we're doing something. But what it really means, and in the dictionary definition, is an attempt or an effort to do something. In any dictionary, the gold standard, attempt or effort to do something. But what it means to try in reality, that I want to shine the spotlight on
Yeah.
and magnify and call to our attention and shout it from the mountaintop. It's not what we think it is. So trying is really, I'll kind of maybe sort of do it if ish I feel like it.
Mhm.
It's a half hearted attempt or an effort. It's a cover for procrastination. It's something we hide behind. And there are so many reasons we do this. So, okay, I'll try to call you back. I'm going to try to clean the garage. I'm going to try to do better on my test. It's this, what does that even mean? When you say you're going to try, you are building in the intention and the potential for failure. You're already implying it may not happen. Trying means I may not do it. So why are we going to try, right? Why do we want to have heart things that affect everything in our life? We try in our personal relationships, in our careers, in our health, our overall happiness, all of it. Like, I'm trying to spend more time with my kids. I'm trying to work on my relationship. I'm trying to schedule that dermatology appointment that could save my life if I keep trying to make that appointment and I don't make it. Because remember, trying is a half-hearted attempt. You may miss a really important diagnosis, right? So what we think it means and what it means are two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move into like, why do we do it? But I just, want to leave that right there for a minute. It's not what we think it means.
That has been so helpful to me because you shine the light on how it's such a setup on so many levels of where we get stuck. It just reinforces that negative feeling. It's like self-sabotaging, and it's a
Yes.
setup for failure. And then when I get stuck in that, I I can feel like, why am I like stuck in the mud and I'm not moving forward? So speak to that a little bit, because there's a cost that we're not even aware of.
Oh, so many, so many. You just said something so important. You can ask yourself, why am I choosing to try here? Like you said earlier, I don't really try in my business. I'm very aggressive and I put myself out there. So you can be like a multi-million selling author, but have terrible relationships or have terrible health. So there's areas of our life where we choose to try, and there's areas of our life where we don't choose to try. And I'll touch on that a little bit more. But so why we try, everybody loves this. It's not our fault. Everybody, you're off the hook because we're taught to try. We were taught to try by our parents. They were taught to try by their parents. Try harder. Give it a try. Just try it. You have nothing to lose by trying. Try it. You don't have to like it. So we are taught to try at a very young age. In fact, I've just uncovered this interesting information that up until age 2, and actually up until age 3, we don't say try. Kids say, I do it. I do.
Oh,
I do.
my
But
granddaughter that's
at
turning 3, that's exactly what she
Yes,
says. I do. I do it. I do it.
I do it. I do. They don't say I'll try. Now, this is really fascinating. I have to read my little notes. But at age 3, they realize there's a gap between their effort and the outcome. And they start to say, I try. So, I do. I was building these blocks, but it didn't work. Okay. And they learn to fear failure. They avoid disappointment and they associate mistakes with judgment and shame. So they start building in that little buffer of, I'm going to try. It's a protect. Okay. I don't want to be accountable. I want to have excuses and blame. And they build in that little safety net by the age of 3. And by age between 4 and 6, now so we do not inherently, from at birth, it's I'll try. We learn, it's I'll do. We learn to try, and we're taught to try. So one of the biggest reasons that we try is we're taught. Number 2, we're so afraid of failure. We're so afraid. We fear failure. We're afraid of what others might think of us. So we say, well, I'll try because I really don't want your judgment, and I really don't want to fail. So we also try because we want the ability to procrastinate. I don't really want to put myself on the spot right now, and I'm not going to come out and say I'm a procrastinator, so I'll just say I'm going to try to do it. We don't even realize that. There's so many reasons we try because we have the hardest time saying no. So
I
as
just wrote that down. I don't want to say no. That really stood out to me. Well, I'll try to make it. But meanwhile, I don't really want to go. I have a lot going on and I don't want to go. So
Yeah.
it feels
So
better to say, I'll try to make it, but it's just, yeah, it's not very trustworthy either, is it?
because yeah, you sound kinder. You sound like the nice guy. So here's what happens. It's really not kinder to the other person, and
Mhm.
it's not kinder to you either. And for parents, when we tell our kids we're going to try, we're showing them that it's okay to disappoint people. It may sting in the immediate moment of no, I'm not going to do that for you, or no, we can't do that. But you're teaching your kids honesty and a clean, clear expectation. So when you tell the person, I'll try to go to your fundraiser or I'll try to come help you with your garage sale, right? And then you get home and you don't want to go. So what's happening to you is, oh, you're just weighing yourself down with all of this negative self-talk. Well, I'm a loser. And, I said I would go. I should go. I could go. I have no other plans. There's nothing keeping me. And now I'm going to have to run into them. And what am I going to say to them? And now I may have to lie to them. So your whole night's ruined because you said you would try. And for the other person, well, they're waiting. Well, you know what? She said she'd try to come. Maybe I'll wait a little longer. Maybe I'll save her a seat. Maybe I'll make a plate of food for her. She said she would try to be here. I'll save her favorite cookies. The other person is now wasting all their energy. And you avoid all that when you just say, instead of I'll try to come, you know what? Thank you so much for the invitation, but I'm not going to make it. Please continue to invite me. Please continue to ask me, but I already know that it's a rough week for me and I'm not going to be able to, show up for you like I want to on Friday night. And they look at you and think, thank you for your honesty.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes.
Now I don't have to worry about ordering extra or waiting for you or kind of sort of counting on you to show up. It's the kinder thing to do to that person.
Mhm.
And guess what? You get to go home never thinking about it again and enjoying curling up on the couch and watching Netflix in your pajamas,
Yeah.
guilt free, because you didn't say you would try to go,
Oh
right?
my gosh, yes. That's what you're talking about when I mean, then there's multiple different, ways that triad looks. But just as you're naming all those things, we do that to ourselves. It's like, oh, it's such an energy drain.
Such and no is a skill. I, now that I'm aware of how kind it really is to say no to somebody,
Yes.
it's so much easier to do it. And I think people really appreciate it. And
Mhm.
leaders of big companies, they don't they don't say I'll try. It's I'm going to do this or not. I will be there or I won't. And ironically, they're the people I would afford more of the luxury of saying I'll try because their schedules are so crazy and their schedules change. But they're the people. They rose up the ladder of success because they took strong, determined action. They were honest. They hold themselves accountable. They don't procrastinate. They have the report. They make the call to you. They show up at the meeting on time. So, people that want to get the promotion and want to rise up in the company, trying is going to be a deadly word to them. They don't, it's not going to work.
Yes. And we want to be leaders. And for those moms, whatever capacity, we're leading in our home.
Yes.
We are the
Yes.
CEOs in our home and wherever we go. And I want to live in integrity. And I was convicted by this because I can see I got myself kind of in a bind by having that trying mentality about something. And what I've done is I've kind of continued to kick the can down the road with something that maybe I didn't really want to do in the first place.
Yeah.
So I have to switch that to I committed to this. I
Yeah.
said I would do this and I'm going to do it because my word is what I say my word is. And so
Yes.
I'm going to be that person that is going to do and not just say try. I'm going to commit to my yes being yes, my no being no. And so super
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
So, and so, yeah, one of the reasons that we try, or the many, is we want to have access to excuses. I tried, but I forgot the day, or blame. I tried, but the line at Starbucks was too long and I arrived late. That's a blame. We can blame an intangible line and not have accountability. But I also want to say, and obviously saying no is so much stronger than saying, I'm going to try and fail at it. So if for like, I love to use this example. Like when I go on vacation, I'm very healthy. I love to work out. I eat really well. I'm a regular person at the gym. But I used to say when we'd go to these, once a year beautiful vacation, I would check out the gym and I like, make sure I'm going to keep eating, very healthy while even while I'm on vacation, and I'm going to work out every day on vacation. And what would happen is I would want to sleep in, like it's vacation. But I would say, oh, you need to get up, Carla. You said you'd go to the gym and you need to, I would be eating the dessert and thinking, oh, I said I was going to, try to stick to my diet while I'm on vacation. Just say no. No, I'm not. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to stick to it. Saying no is so much stronger than saying I'm going to try and failing and giving up. And then you have all the negative, I'm lazy, I'm a loser, whatever it is. So when you say no, that's as strong and as powerful as saying I'm going to do something. And the only other thing I want to say right now is just because you say, I'm not going to try and I'm going to do something, it doesn't guarantee success. It just guarantees you a better chance at success. The universe steps in. There may be a terrible storm on the day that you said you were going to run 10 miles. Your car may break down literally on the freeway. And just because you said, I will be there at 9, you're not going to show up. But 9 times out of 10, when you say you're going to do something and the universe doesn't crash your plans, you can do it.
Yeah. Thank you for talking about that piece of when you were on vacation, because I think we get stuck as women, as moms, in that place. I know I have, really thinking about, what do I want here? Like that's what stood out. Do I really want to work out when I'm on vacation, or do I want to say no? Like that's that missing piece, because then, well, I say that I'm going to do this, but do I really want to do it?
Well,
And
that's when you say, I'll try to do it when you're not sure.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
That's the try
Exactly.
part.
So that's like a dashboard light. If I want to say I'm going to try, I need to pause and I need to say, do I really want to do this?
Yes, yes. Like the alarm goes off when your kid says they'll try, and when you say you'll try, there should be like big alarms in the house going bing. I would love that.
Well, and it's funny. I want us to get into, because you were like, I know I'm going to be talking to moms of tweens and teens, so I've already been preparing and thinking about what I want to share with them. But that's the same thing with like our kids when they say, I'll try to get that math homework done. What they're really, but they don't really want to do the math homework, right? And so it's like, how do we support our kids in the trying? Because what I find is that if kids can just be honest, and we can be honest about not wanting to do something, just the honesty of really telling the truth about it helps us to shift into really wanting to do it.
Yes.
So
It's
speak on this. Yeah.
so when your kid says, I'm going to try to study for my math test, or you say to your kid, try to do better on your math test. Can you try to study more? What they're hearing is it's optional. Try to is it's optional. I don't have to do it. When you say try to get along, when your kids are little fighting in the back seat, or even teens, tweens arguing, will you two try to get along? What they're hearing is it's optional. Sure, mom, we'll try, because you don't have to. You didn't say get along right now, or I'm turning the car around, or you need to do better on your test. Is a very specific direction. It's not, I'll not try to do better. So you have to really hone your ear. So here's the difference. The kid that's going to try to do better on their math test or try to study more, maybe they're going to like look through the book. Well, I said I would try to study more, for 5 minutes and then go get distracted and move on. That's the trying effort. That's half-hearted attempt. The kid that says, okay, I'm going to do better. And by the way, I'm going to tell you what happens in your brain when you say the word do. They are now going down a different path because now their brain has said, I'm not going to try. They've told their brain, I'm going to do this. And now they're going to spend maybe an extra hour. Maybe they're going to be reading about their math quiz on the bus to school. Maybe, they're going to take better action when they tell themselves they're going to do. So you really have to hone in. It's a different process. Trying and doing is completely different. So that's a very good thing to do, is listen to what you are asking your kids to do. And by the way, when the kid that says, I'm going to study more, I'm going to do better, and they actually take the extra time and they know they've done all they can because they said they would do it, and they don't get a better grade, do you know what they walk away with? They don't walk away feeling bad because they tried to study and they didn't, and they know they half-assed it. They know that they didn't study harder. They just said they would try. The one that did, they walk away going, you know what? I did my best. I know I studied more. And they have self-esteem and they have confidence, even though they didn't do better. And they've learned, okay, now I know where I fell short. I've learned the lesson. Now I'm going to pivot, and next time I know I need to study, or I need to meet with the counselor, or I need to do a little extra, maybe involve a friend because I missed these parts. They're going to learn where they fell short, but they're still going to walk away with their head held high with this incredible confidence. I did my best. I don't feel bad about getting a D because I did my best. What happens in your brain, and you can Google this, there's an actual images. When you say, you tell yourself you're going to try, the brain, this is important, it goes from park into neutral. So your brain lights up. There's a vibration, serotonin, dopamine, adrenaline. It's primed and ready for something to happen. When you tell it you're going to do, it goes from park to drive. It's lit up, and it's now on the path to taking action. Your brain is lit up like fire and neutral, trying, doing. It's completely really happening in our brains. So you need to actually envision that when you're telling your kid to try, you're like, I'm just putting them in neutral. They're not hearing.
I so agree, because since I've been reading your book, I've been saying that to myself. I we will go to the gym. We're going to go to the gym today.
Yes.
That's what we'll often say to each other, because life has gotten kind of crazy. And I know that's an excuse, right? Because we're going to try. But
Yep.
no, we're going to go to the gym today. Already, I feel we're going to the gym. It feels like certainty.
Yes.
Because I'm in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I'm going to make
You
this.
actually feel it. I'm going to the gym.
Yes,
It's like, okay,
yes,
we're
yes.
win-win,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been taking my dirty clothes, and I've been taking them from my bed to the chair behind, and then the chair to the bed. I'm going to try and fold the laundry today. But no, I'm folding the laundry today. I'm going to do it. It's so different.
It's so different. And by the way, when you take something small like that, like I'm going to fold the laundry, not today. I'm going to fold the laundry now or in an hour. I'm going to get it done by 12 o'clock. Setting a time limit is amazing, because when you say I'm going to fold the laundry by 12, now there's a sense of urgency and you're more apt to do it. Once you fold that laundry and put it away, you're like, huh, it didn't take as long as I thought. And oh my God, I love looking at that clean chair now. And I'm so proud of myself. Even a silly little thing like that, you get such satisfaction. And then guess what? You want to go do the next thing. And now I'm going to go unload the dishwasher. Now I'm going to get, because you want to keep getting that really hit of good feeling. Little things really cause us to be motivated to do the bigger things.
Yes, and you talk about it. It's really what builds our confidence and our sense
Oh,
of
yeah.
self-trust, is because we're doing those things rather
Doing.
than the self-defeating behaviors. So when you talk about, I want to just pause a moment on what you were talking about with our kids. So you need to try more. So if we're shifting that because we know that doesn't work, you need to try harder. Doesn't
Mhm.
work with our kids. So what I hear you saying is more shifting it to what is it that you need to do in order to, right? Is that a better way to, what's a better
Oh,
way to say it to our kids so we're
yeah.
not like, okay, you need to try to go get your math homework done, or you need to try to do this. I want to give them like some actual things that they can shift to saying instead.
Yeah. Well, the answer is you need to go do your homework now. When can you do your homework? How can I help you in your process of doing your homework? They're hearing, trust me, the brain is razor sharp. It's hearing, oh, now mom is not saying I need to try to do it. Now it's not optional. Now mom is saying I need to do it. And she's actually going to set a time limit on it, or I'm going to set a time limit. The more you can engage them to setting up the rules is the best. So you could say, look, Johnny, you need to complete this homework. You need to do it tonight. So when do you think you can have it done by? Would you rather do it before dinner or would you rather do it after dinner? Now you are going down a whole different road. You're going down the road of doing. And then, when they're done with it, you can ask them, how do you feel? Do you feel relieved that it's done? You know, do you feel like, yay, now we can go do something? Is there something else you want to do? Is there something else you've been thinking of doing? Um, just start saying that word. But also let them know, doing does not mean you're going to, with homework, yeah, you're going to do it and get it done. But when you send them out, to get a role in the school play, do everything you can, study those lines, be as prepared as you can. Not, try to study your lines, try to get the, whatever part you want. Go out, go for it. Do your best. Do your best. Do everything you can. And when you don't make it, it's like, well, wow, you did everything you possibly could. And I'm so proud of you for that, no matter what the outcome. So literally, it's just that one word. It's flipping that word.
It's huge, huge.
Huge.
And it sends our kids the message. It's like that, just that switch that I believe in you. When we say try,
Yeah.
it is really like, wah, wah, wah. That's how I feel now when I think of that, like try harder. There's just something about it that is such a drain. And you actually have the try baby, which I just wanted to show you. I signed it. I see my name there on your little
Oh,
your
I love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love it. I admit that I have been a try baby. From this day forth, I pledge to no longer try. Instead, I will choose to take brave and bold steps towards doing. And you go on, and I'm like, yes. And I signed it. It was awesome. And there's so
Yeah.
many great exercises in the book too. Have you?
So many, and they're the book is quick and fast. I encourage you to, have family night and read the book out loud, like one chapter at dinner time. And so for our kids, it's really not their fault. This age, they've grown up in a time where they have come to expect everything faster, bigger, better, easier. One click on your cell phone and you have the definition of try, okay? One click on your cell phone and you can have a chocolate milkshake delivered to your door. Oh, this isn't working, the attention span. Oh, well, this isn't working, so I'm going to go do this now. We it's a generational thing that's happening. And so I think one of your Melanie McNally, she talked about slowing the brain down. Well, we have to get our kids more into the mindset of elbow grease. It's probably not a word they even know. I'm older, but elbow grease meant putting work into it, investing time into something. So our kids need to develop a stronger work ethic, because what's happening is they're trying, they're used to things not working and moving on to the next thing. Oh, that's not working. I'll go on to the next thing. But the collateral damage is we try, it doesn't work. So we give up. We throw in the negative self-talk. I'm weak, I'm a loser. It's never going to happen for me. I can't do it. We give up, and then we go on to the next thing. But if you try, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a half-hearted experience. But if you put in determined action and you stick with it, and we teach our kids to keep going, don't give up so easily. It's not going to come so quickly. Slow down, put in the work, put in the extra time, and you're going to get the beautiful reward at the end of either finding out that you can be successful, or this isn't for me, and now I've exhausted all the resources, and now I know what I want to do. Now I've learned what doesn't work. You're never going to learn anything if you just keep trying and failing and giving up and shooting on to the next thing. Slow down and work harder.
Yes, yes. And do it. Yeah. That's a reason that Nike slogan has just stuck. I don't think they've ever changed it. I think it's been that way for years and years and years. Just do it.
30 years it's been out, and Dan Whedon is the creator of the Nike slogan, just do it. Imagine if that was just try to do it.
Yeah, it would be very different.
It wouldn't work.
No, no.
It's watered down. No one's saying just try to do it. Nike says just do it. And by the way, we know already that trying is not the best way to go about things, and our kids already know it too. This is not new news. So when you say you're going to open a bank account, you don't go to the bank that says, okay, we're going to try to keep track of your money, and we're going to try to have it available to you when you want to withdraw it. No, we do not allow for that. And when you go to the doctor, I'm going to try to remember which shoulder to operate on. No, I will remember, and we are going to operate on the correct shoulder, okay? There's no trying. You wouldn't want your pilot to come on the plane and say, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to flight 24. I'm going to try to land this plane safely for you. No, I'm going to land the plane. We're not allowed to try to get to the gate at 9:30 because they want to try to get off, on time and fly. It's be here. The flight is taking off at 9:30, and if you're not there, you won't be on here. We're not given the option to try, and we don't allow the option to try. Imagine, your kids saying, I'm thinking of something our kids wouldn't accept a try at, Okay, kids, I'm going to try to go to the grocery store this week, and I'm going to try to have food on the table for you. They don't work, they don't make money, they're counting on you. We're having dinner at 7, and yes, I'm accountable. I'm going to provide food for you, and I'm going to make the food for you. I'm going to try to get you to your baseball practice. No, Mom, I need to be there at 7:00,
Yes.
right? They don't allow for trying. And, we need to really just kind of pull that up and remind ourselves that we already know we don't accept it.
Yes, it's a choice. It's the pilot's not going, well, I'm going to try to get you to the gate. We do it. We do it.
We have a schedule to keep. There's no option.
Yes.
The business can't run. The airline can't run if we try to show up at 9:30. We have a set time. There's traffic controllers. We have to take off because there's another plane coming in. There's no option to try.
It's so good. So you have lots of good strategies in the book, lots of things that you say you can do. I really like how you talk all about the brain science, and you talk about the negative, those critical things that we say to ourselves and how to change our self-talk. I love that. There's just so many things. Can you share, because we'll do a workshop. I'm going to have you back if you'll have me have you back.
I'll come back.
Because it's so good. So valuable, all of these things. But what's like one or two? What's your top two, would you say, things that can make a real difference? Because I even used even the Eisenhower, you have the Eisenhower method,
Matrix, yeah.
yeah, matrix. And
Yeah.
I even I used AI to do that. I would use the Eisenhower matrix. This is what I have to get done. So many good things that you use in the book. What are your top one or two?
Okay. Just because you said the Eisenhower matrix, that is Dwight D. Eisenhower was a very good organizer, and the Eisenhower matrix allows you to prioritize. What's urgent, what's not urgent, what you can delegate, what you can delete. The first thing I like to say, and what we can actually, use with our teens and tweens is start small. This is a brand new concept for many people. So I would encourage them, like if their room is a mess, go just clean up the stuff on the floor. Pick something small and encourage them to do it. Don't try to do it. Do it by the end of the day and then discuss, how do you feel? And they'll be like, you know what, Mom? It took me like 10 minutes. I've been dreading doing it and I finally did it. And now, guess what? I want to go and do the next thing. So start small. That's the first
Okay,
thing.
perfect. I
Um,
love it.
yep. This is not in the book, but there's a concept called eat the frog. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, the book. I can't remember the author, but yes.
Okay. So eat the frog was attributed to Mark Twain. And what it means, what he says is, I don't think this has anything to do with the book Eat the Frog, but if you have to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And what that means is you pick the thing you are dreading doing, the thing you are putting off, the thing that you are procrastinating on, the worst thing on your to-do list, on your try-to-do list, and you do that first.
Mm.
So you do the worst thing first. So ask your kids, what is something that you've been trying to do that you haven't gotten around to doing? And get it done. Because now you begin momentum, and now you've gotten the worst thing finished, and now you can move on to the things that will seem much easier to do. So eat your frog. I tell everybody, like, eat a frog every morning. For me, it's, when I was in publishing, it was calling my songwriters and telling them that they didn't make an album. Your song did not make the, you know, Guns N' Roses record. And normally I would put that off till the end of the day because it was such a hard conversation. But I found that if I just did it as soon as I sat down in the morning and made the call, maybe it's a kid that has to, make an apology to somebody and they haven't done it and they're putting it off, do that thing first. So eat the frog, start small. Become very comfortable and celebrate failure. If you fail, you are my hero because it means you've actually taken steps to do something and now you have a result. So really stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of whatever it is and just dive into the middle of it. And whatever happens, we're going to be so proud of you. Fear is so intimidating and the failure and what are your friends going to think? Let them know those people that watch you fail, you're inspiring them. You may not know it, but they're watching you like, wow, you were brave enough to go do something. You didn't hide behind fear. So start small, eat the frog, failure. Those are three great places to start.
Yeah. And being courageous to lean in to that because
100%.
you're going to feel so much more alive, uh, even doing it, afraid of
It's the
doing it.
best. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Doing is
Yes.
so invigorating. Oh yeah, I love it.
So what are you doing as we get ready to end? I just want to end on like, what are you doing right now that you just are excited about, but maybe really terrified about?
Okay, writing a book and putting myself out there. Every time I say yes to a podcast, I don't know what you're going to ask me. I have to be confident that I can answer it. I was on the news yesterday, speaking to bigger audiences. I'm leading a workshop for at-risk kids that are aging out of the foster program this weekend. I'll have 30 or 40 lives of these people that are looking at me and like, depending and counting on me to give them useful information. It's so scary. I'm thinking about writing another book, and I believe I want to target that age, that 3-year-old age where we're taught to try. I'm going to do a book. So I'm starting to think about writing another book, which is terrifying, for kids. I think every day I find something to do that keeps me excited. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Do you feel like you notice a shift even, and I mean you have just done amazing things in your life. And this is your focus is shifting more to you being in the spotlight for sure. Have you seen a difference in your kids stepping out and taking risk and doing versus trying in their own lives? Because I had when I started Moms of Tweens and Teens, because they were watching me fall
Yes.
down, fail, get up, you know, do it again.
Yeah.
So
They watched you say you're going to do something and do it and succeed. Sometimes we're afraid of doing because we're afraid of success as much as we are of failure.
mhm.
You know what? I actually completed the book because I said I was going to do it, and I knew my kids were watching.
Wow.
And when they tell me, Mom, I'm so proud of you, you did so well, and the book is so good, that is the reason for me, is to inspire them to see that you can do something. This is a little side story. And we don't have a lot of time, but I'll just throw it out there. So my son loves In-N-Out Burger. Like, he loves In-N-Out. And they were building a new In-N-Out in Westlake where we live. And we would drive by on the freeway every day as they were building it. And he was so excited. And I remember him saying, imagine if we could be the first people to get the first In-N-Out at that store. And I thought to myself, oh, here's a good teaching moment. I said, you can be the first customer at that In-N-Out. And so he was in school at the time, he was high school. And I went to the In-N-Out and I'm like, what is your opening day? And they kept saying, we don't have an opening day yet. So I would check in. And one day I went and they said, we're opening on Thursday and we're opening at 9 a.m. Or yeah, it was like early in the morning. And I had him stay home from school. We got there at 7 a.m. and sat at a picnic table so he could be, when they open those doors, I have all the pictures, the whole staff lined up. They gave him special coins. They had photographers, and it showed him you can say you want to do something. And it was effort. It was following up. It was making sure we were there before anybody else. There was a lot of doing action. But he was the first customer at that In-N-Out Burger. And now every time we pass it, he knows I did it. We didn't try, we did it. We said we were going to do something and we did it. So that is an amazing thing. My kids you can still choose to try, by the way. They still choose to try, but they know what they're doing when they say it. They're not blindly fooling themselves. They're like, you know what, Mom? I don't really want to go all in here. So I am going to give it a trying effort. I am going to half-heart this, but they know the difference. And I see them self-correcting. They'll be like, okay, I'll try to, be home by 5. Nope, I will be home by 5. Or I'm going to try to finish that book. No, I'm going to finish the book. They self-correct. And then it makes a difference in their lives. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. They notice it now. You catch yourself. And then you can think, oh, okay, maybe I do want to try and I don't know yet if I really want to do it. Or no, I am going to do it.
Not doing it.
Yeah. And I'm so excited about you writing your second book now, if it's going to be a children's book for my grandkids. But
Yeah.
also I'm like, see a third book about just the ways that you taught your son, or the way in that particular instance, like you were planting such seeds and just thinking about how we can plant these seeds. What an opportunity that you modeled that for him. We're not going to just try here. We're going to make it happen. We're going to be intentional and we're going to do it. And how much fun. He will remember that for the rest of his life. And so will you. And
Forever.
yes.
Those opportunities are everywhere. It's the packet of seeds that they want you to buy when you're out. Oh, Mom, can we buy these seeds? It's like those seeds will sit in a junk drawer for years. But it's like, no, let's plant the seeds. and say, we're doing this today. And then you watch the flowers grow and like, look, you planted that. These moments are around us every single day. But if you try to get them done, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
If you do them, everything will happen. It is a magical word. And okay, when I'm going to speak to these kids this weekend, I'm going to tell them, I'm giving you a superpower.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a secret weapon that not many people know yet. And now you have it. When you stop trying and you start doing, all these magical things happen. So I think it's a great way to, help our kids go, do you want it? You want a superpower in school? You want a magic weapon, a secret weapon? Don't try to do better, do better. Don't try to study, study. Like that's kind of a fun way to look at it.
Oh, yes. Well, Carla, thank you so much for your book and Stop Trying: The Life Transforming Power of Trying Less and Doing More, and all you're doing. And I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all the moms on here that are going to read the book and apply this in their own lives and in their kids' lives and their parenting, and what a difference it's going to make. So thank you for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. It's on Audible. You can listen while you're driving. You can listen with your kids in the car. You can order it on Amazon, anywhere. Go to Instagram and follow me, because I have 7 days a week, really fun daily hits on Instagram. I just really want everybody to get the information in there. You're going to love me or hate me, because once you learn this, you can't unlearn it. It's like, I can't try anymore, but it's great.
Yeah, tell them what your handle is on Instagram, your website, all of that.
Okay, so the website is stop-trying.com. That's easy. Stop-trying.com. All my past podcasts are on there. There's downloadables, the Eisenhower Matrix, the Try Baby Test. You can get all that. And then I'm at Carla Ondrasik on Instagram and on Twitter and on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Like, you can find me anywhere. Ondrasik, Ondrasik. But really, the Instagram is a really fun one. And
Yes.
yeah, I'd say, listen to the book with your kids in the car, because it's kind of fun.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I love your Instagram. Really.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah. So I'll put everybody, it's all in the show notes too, so they can click on it and find you at all those places. So, yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today. And thank you so much, friend, for joining me. And if you are finding this podcast an encouragement to you, I would love if you would take a minute to leave a review. It's one of the best ways to help other moms to find this show. And you can also share it with a friend who might just need a little bit encouragement today. I know it means so much to me when someone forwards me a resource that spoke to them, and I just love knowing, oh my gosh, they were thinking of me today. And we all need that, don't we? So I am just so grateful that you're here and that you're a part of our podcast community. And I just want to wish you a great week ahead. And I will see you back here next week.